Good evening, folks. This is Patrick, and you may notice it's a little bit dim in here. That's because I got preoccupied with other things today, so I did not do any recording earlier when the sun was out and it was bright. So now I'm in my garage and it's just really dim, so that's the reason for that. Okay, what's going on today? If you remember the previous episode where I showed you some of my reference pictures, that's them right there, these two. Now, what I'm about to talk about now is this head. Notice how it's looking down and a little to his left side. That's the look I'm going for. And I'm still, if you hear any squeaking, that's my chair. It's kind of old and worn out, so it squeaks a lot. All right, so what I'm trying to do here is figure out how to make the head/face. And I did some cutting on his neck. Let me show you. You can see that right there. I cut all the way around his neck, but I didn't cut all the way through the skin because what I have in mind is I want to, right now that head is looking straight forward. I want to tilt the head down and to the left just a little bit. And that's the reason for the mask right there. That's just to simulate his mouth and teeth where that would be once it's tilted down. And I'm just trying to get some idea of what it's going to look like before I fully commit to cutting his neck off and tilting the head down permanently. And I'm still trying to decide if I want to cut this and put it on his, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm still trying to figure out if I want to actually cut this in half and stick it to his face, or if I want to use something else for the mouth. Okay, let me see. What else have I done? All right, I did not actually get started on cutting his legs. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to go about it. I don't want to cut off too much, so I don't want to rush into that. And I do have one special, I shouldn't say special, but something good happened the other day. My hand got here quicker than I expected. I've talked about the size of these hands a couple of times, and I found a hand online. I think I mentioned that in another video, and that came yesterday. But first, again, let's go over this. This is what, there it goes. And I want to show you, come on, stay on there. These are the little baby hands that came with it. And I got this yesterday, and that is just perfect for what I have in mind. And no, this is not Thing from the Addams Family. And let's compare. All right, again, that's my chair, folks. Let's compare these hands. You can probably see it better right here against that white background. They're about the same height, but the other hand is a lot wider and it looks more monster-esque. Don't think that's a word, but I just made it a word. So it looks like more cut take two. So it looks more like a monster hand. And let me show you this. All right, and this is what it's going to look like once I figure out how to attach it. And I will have to do some molding and sculpting right here to make it fit because the wrist on the hand is a little wider than the arm. So I'm going to widen that arm a little bit. And I don't know what cut take two. I don't know what type of material this is, but it's kind of hard. So I don't want to start doing any cutting on this. However, I will have to get rid of this. I can either file this down or maybe put some clay over it and cover it up. We all know Carnage does not have an eye on his hand. As far as attaching the hand to the arm, it does screw in. So what I have in mind is I'm going to remove this screw from this arm, attach it to that one. This hand, and attach it to that hand. And if everything goes okay, I'll be able to screw it into the arm. And I think that's it for today, folks. So make sure you stay tuned. There's more coming up. Got to get that thumbnail. Okay, he won't stand up. Stand up. There he goes. All right, thanks again. Bye. Hello. Does anybody need a hand? Yeah, I know. That joke is old. All right, folks. What we are going to talk about today is the hand, not to be confused with the thing. I did make another video before this one. I don't know if I will post that or not, because actually I just undid. I undid what I did in that video. And okay, let me explain what I'm talking about. I'm replacing, stay up there. And by the way, I'm out in my little paint shop area in my garage, not in my normal place, over on the floor over there behind me. But I had to do some bench work on this. So, all right, so this is the little baby hand that came with this arm right here. Well, actually, the mannequin. And it's too small. I replaced it with this. I think this is described as a witch hand or a demon hand on eBay, and that's where I got it from. And I am replacing that little baby hand with this hand, which is more appropriate for Carnage and more appropriate, it's hard to say that word, for a mannequin that is 6 feet tall. And yesterday, I drilled out this part right here. Let me put these side by side so it'll make more sense. Stay there. There we go. I drilled this out and I removed this screw piece from here and put it here. Now, yesterday I put some air dry clay. That's the white stuff here, or what's left of it. I drilled a hole, filled it with the air dry clay so that I could attach this to it. However, I got up this morning, checked the air dry clay, and it was still soft. And I should have known better, because I know from past experience that if you pack this air dry clay real tight, or if you use a lot of it, it's going to take it a long time to dry. And this stuff was maybe one thick. This stuff was maybe 1 inch thick. So it did not all dry. So I dug it all out, put some more styrofoam in there, and I used some epoxy clay. And that's what the gray stuff is. And it's been sitting for, I don't know, maybe 6-7 hours, and it's pretty solid right now. Ooh, don't you go nowhere. It's holding this in place. So what I'm about to do now is test it out, see how it's gonna hold up once I screw it onto the arm. Be right back. All right, folks, and this is what it looks like. As you can tell, it's a little off right here. It's not straight as it should be. And hold on, that light is putting this black line in the camera. Okay, that's better. All right, I have to show it to you down here. It's those lights right there. They put those dark lines in the video. So that's what it looks like from the back of the arm. And that's a side view. And you can tell on the right side, it's a little too big, but I expected that. I plan on filling that part up with some clay. And let's look at the bottom of the arm. Okay, have to do some filling in with clay right there also. So basically all the way around the wrist area, I'm gonna have to put some clay to make it look right. But I like the look. It's better than the baby hand. All right, folks, that's it for this. I'll be back with more. Make sure you stay tuned. Bye. Trying to get that thumbnail.